All right, we should be live. Just going to double check. Let's, yep, just double checking to see. Ooh, okay. Yes, all right, perfect. All right, so welcome everyone to a start of the interview sessions we're going to have all week here at Spiel Digital. So I'm Raphael, I'll be your host most of the week anyways, but me and my colleagues will be presenting interviews that will be streaming here on Twitch. So for anyone joining us, know that we have actually also the possibility to ask questions to the author through our Discord channel. If you want to go through the official Spiel.digital Discord channel, just go to our booth, the Game Brewer booth, and there will be a link to the Game Brewer channel, and you can go to the chat section there. And if you have any questions for Tom tonight or for any of our guests in the coming days, don't hesitate to ask questions there. We do have one or two interviews that were pre-recorded, but this one is very much live. So yeah, don't hesitate if you have questions tonight for Tom. But hi, Tom. Welcome.
Hi,
Are you excited?
very.
Yeah, I would imagine, because for those who don't know yet, Tom actually is about to publish his very first game with us, Rule Benders, that we're going to talk exhaustively in this interview. But before we get into Rule Benders, Tom, I wanted to ask something about you more personally, because obviously, as a new game designer, did you grow up very much playing games? And if you did you like to create your own rules when you were playing your games?
Yes, well, it was about 2004 when I got really a little more interested in games. It started with Settlers of Catan, like many
Yes.
people, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I think I bought all the expansions, still have them. It's a nostalgia, so
Yeah.
I keep them. I don't play it as much as I used to anymore, but that was really the entry point to modern board gaming for me.
Yeah.
There were also other games like Machiavelli, or also known as Citadels,
Yeah. In English, yeah, that's true.
Werewolves,
Mm-hmm.
Take Five, and those kind of games.
Yeah.
Not yet the really heavy games, because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a heavy board gamer.
Yeah.
And then when I bought Dominion in 2008, it really started to lift off, and well, at some point you start thinking about what if I would create my own game,
Yeah.
and and here we are.
All right. Well,
But
that's awesome.
I keep it decent. I have about 50-ish games in my collection,
Okay.
because I think it's important that I can play them frequently.
Yes.
And there's a lot of guys with in the hundreds of games, and they're all complaining about I can't get them on the table. So I try to keep it small.
Yeah, I'm manageable. That makes a lot of sense.
I
So,
do add some house rules,
yeah.
actually. Small rules, like, for example, Paladins of the West Kingdom,
Yes.
known also by many players. We play with an open deck of wall cards.
Okay.
Should, according to the rules, it should be closed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if there is an official rule on that, but we always play with that deck open, that you can see what you're going for.
Yeah.
And another example is in the Voyages of Marco Polo.
Yeah.
If you reroll a die, you get the same die,
Mm-hmm.
same value, then
Yes.
you can reroll.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's
That's, yeah.
really bummer if you roll the same thing and you just you've given a camel for that. So it's
Yeah.
not nice.
Yeah, that is
It's
very true.
nicer when you can reroll till you get something else. So yeah, it started with house ruling, and now it got a little out of hand, I think.
Yes. Oh, well, that's a good thing, I think. So yeah, let's talk a bit more about Rule Benders then, because yeah, the game is gonna be on Kickstarter next month, actually. So it's getting very, very close. You actually have the box behind you.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, what went through your head when basically you heard the news that the game was going to be published?
Well, at first I thought, yes, finally,
Yeah,
because I've started working on this 6 years ago,
yeah,
and
it's quite
at
some
the
time.
end, the hardest thing was actually to find a publisher that would go with it, would publish it. So that was quite a journey.
Yeah,
But that means 6 years. It had a lot of time for development. Then you guys also gave your vision on the game, and together we made it even better. So I'm really glad we're at the point where we are now with Rule Benders.
yeah.
So yeah,
No, that's true. So, what was your inspiration for the game, actually? Where did the idea come from?
that's a kind of a weird story actually. So about 6 years ago, I had a philosophical moment after attending a funeral. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the weird part. So I was thinking about life, and we all have moments where we think, what's the purpose of life? And you start going philosophical to the point where you just go nuts. And then I was thinking, life is actually like a game in which we don't know the rules. We're just experiencing life, and everything is happening. But if life would be a game, we wouldn't know the rules. And then I thought
That is
this
true.
might be a nice idea for an actual game.
Hmm.
So I started working on some game, but at first I actually tried to create a game which you started playing and you didn't know what the heck you were doing. So you
Yeah,
had to know you had to discover the rules as you played the game.
right.
Now that wasn't really a good idea because that didn't work.
It's very challenging, I think, to make that work. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, the thing was you need at least a few rules to get a game started.
Yes.
So I dropped the whole nothing idea, and I started working on a few rules that you already had from the beginning, and then it evolved into these rules can be changed. You can
Yeah.
adjust them as you play.
Yes.
As I when I say this to people, they go, oh, that already exists. That's Flux. Flux
Yeah.
does that. Well, yeah, okay. So the whole idea of changing rules while you're playing is a thing we know from Flux. That's true. But Rule Benders does it in an entirely different way. You need to score a majority on a rule to be able to bend it,
Exactly.
and there's a lot going on with cards you can play to help yourself or take dead cards for your
Yeah.
opponent.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in the game. It's not just a party game like Flux where you change rules. No, it's much more than that actually.
Yeah. No, I
So
agree.
that's where it came from. Actually, a funeral gave me the idea.
But hey, no, it's a good idea. I mean, I love the idea of, like you said, thinking that, life is a game where you don't know the rules and you try to navigate it, which obviously players try to do in this game as well. So let's talk maybe a little bit about the process because, like you said, it's been 6 years, ago that you started work on this game. But how did you go from? Well, you kind of explained it already, from the idea that you had to the prototype. But where do you think that you had like moments where you really felt, okay, that's it, I have found like this little solution to this problem I've been having, or and how long did it take actually for going really from like the, let's say, a sketch in your head to something more solid that you could present to a publisher?
Well, the main thing is when you're trying to design a game that the play tests are really important. Because I remember at first I had designed something on paper.
Hmm.
So the rules, I thought, we do this and we do that and that and then this and that.
Yeah.
But then I designed designed a prototype and tested it, and it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
And it's with the testing that you can see, oh, that doesn't work because you don't think about the things that are happening while you play when you're creating rules. So I think I must have had about 40 different versions of the game
Oh wow. Yeah.
before we came to the point where we have the rule set now. But it's really it's been quite a journey. Um, and ironically, to get to the point where we are now, I had to bend the rules quite a few times.
Yeah.
So the name is really well chosen, actually.
It
It
does.
also applies to the design.
No, that is very, very true. So,
So
looking because obviously you probably also get inspired when you play games yourselves. So, are there game authors whose work you particularly like and that really inspire you actually on a daily basis?
yeah, so I told you I'm a Euro gamer, so
Hmm.
those are the games I will choose more likely. And within that group of games, I really enjoy the games by Vital Lacerda,
Yes. Hmm.
um, like On Mars and Kanban are now favorite games of mine.
Yeah,
Don't own Kanban yet, but you can play it online. So
that's true. And it's coming out fairly soon, actually.
yeah, the new version.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward because I actually want to buy the new version. I think it's really nice, the illustrations and the graphic design. Um, so that's one designer that inspires me because he likes in like in on Mars and Kaman. There's also this there are these action spots
Hmm.
for gaining resources,
Yes.
but there are also many different ways to obtain those same resources in other ways,
Hmm.
mostly through bonuses and other actions. And I actually like that because without that, as a player, you would be too limited in your possibilities. So this gives you the opportunity to think about many different strategies to gain your victory points, because that's what it's all about in the end.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I love his designs as well, and like you say, I think it's interesting that there are always many, many, many ways to get different things for everything, and I think that can be overwhelming to some, but I think that's also yeah the beauty of his designs. That's very true. So, do you think would you like to work with him one day as a designer, or would you be like, no, it's I'm better when I design by myself and I do my own little scribbles?
Yeah, that's hard for me to say because when you're working with someone, he has his own mark on the
Yes,
games,
of course.
and I'm just a new designer, so I can't say that I have my own mark
Hmm.
yet. But I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Perhaps the two ways collide too much to achieve a nice game.
Yeah.
But for the same, it could also be fantastic new. I don't know what mechanism or something. So sure, why not? But I'm not giving it thoughts today because I'm also working on a few other designs
Hmm.
and um, now I'm thinking, let's first see how it goes with rule vendors,
Yes, of
and
course.
we'll see. And with a few other games, perhaps that might be published someday. And after a few games, I think I could start thinking about teaming up with some other designers.
Yeah, no, very cool. Well, knowing that you're working on different prototypes, what do you think you've learned from the whole process of developing rule benders that you're gonna apply in the future?
I think while test playing, always ask anyone for feedback,
Yeah,
including people that are not really true gamers.
yeah, right.
They can also give a different vision on how they see the game, even when they're not really experienced in board gaming. Um, and I don't have an example of it, but I know that in the past this has for rule benders sometimes given me new ways of tweaking the rules actually.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So something entirely different, but a game brewer, everybody knows us for serving beer at our stand every year. And we do like our drinks, as you guys will no doubt have noticed already. But what is your favorite brew? Are you more of a coffee, a tea, or a beer person?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that your marketing strategy is really nice because first everyone drunk, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we buy all games." So that's
Maybe.
nice, nice marketing. But yeah, I am well, I'm a Belgian, so of course I love Belgian beers.
Hmm.
Not only Belgian beers, but there are many good Belgian beers. And my favorite beers for the moment are now Westmalle Triple
Yes. Hmm.
and Steenelke.
All
I don't
right.
know if you've heard of that.
No, don't know that
That's
one
a
actually.
local beer
Okay.
from Herzelen. Here.
Hmm.
I live in Haltert, so that's just around the corner for me.
Yeah.
And these are both beers with some a nice blend in herbs. And I like my herby beers.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I like to
yeah,
have that.
so
All
some
right.
nice beers. Yeah.
Very
Now
cool.
I'm even working on a game design.
Hmm.
Which is called Trappist, and
Yes,
it's about brewing beer. So
that would be
yeah,
very fitting. Exactly. I was going to
yeah.
say.
We've talked about this before, right?
Yes, we have. But it is something indeed for who knows? We'll see. Shh.
Who knows? We'll see.
All right, very cool. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was really nice. Obviously, we're very excited about launching Rule Benders next month. It's become indeed quite the game from the first prototype. So, but yeah, we're terribly exciting about this game. Anything else that maybe you'd like to mention before I leave you to it?
Well, perhaps this is a nice moment to thank all the test players
Right.
that have tested it during the past 6 years, and to all those who are going to back it. Have fun playing it and have fun bending the rules because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, on those wise words, thank you guys so much for joining in. We have an interview actually with the illustrator of the game, Nayada, that I think needs no introduction. So that will be aired at 8 o'clock. The interview is in French, but will be subtitled in English because it was pre-recorded. And we'll have more interviews in the next coming days. For that, if you want more information, just go to our booth. The whole schedule is there. And yeah, Tom, thank you so much again, and we'll talk very soon.
Thanks for having me. It was
Have a
nice.
good evening.
Bye.
Bye.